Hey, it's the Odd Man, and I'm at the Big Bend Ranch State Park. This is in the south end of Texas, the southwest, and I'm going to hang out for a couple of days and see how it compares to the national park. At 800,000 acres, Big Bend National Park is about 3 times the size of the Big Bend Ranch State Park. There's really only one paved road in the entire park, and it runs along the border with Mexico. And I spent my time pretty much along that road. I started down at the visitor center in the Contrabando system. I stayed at Grassy Banks campground and then did a hike up in the Rancherias Canyon. The road was generally pretty good, with the exception of a few short sight distance kinds of hills. Look at this little summit. Almost no sight lines going down over the hill in either direction. But the views are cool. Like this one. That's Mexico on the left and the USA on the right. The town of Terlingua sits between these two Big Bend parks, the state park and the national park. I stayed here at this Big Bend Adventures RV resort, which was essentially just a big gravel parking lot. The town consists of the ghost town of Terlingua, which was over here, and then what I think of as the town of Terlingua proper, which is over here. And I thought what was hugely funny, the ghost town was much livelier and appeared to be in much better health than the real town of Terlingua. Here's the visitor information center in town, and right behind it is what looks like a destroyed building. Across the street is this little strip mall that looks half abandoned. I used the laundromat that's there in the building with the arches. More than half of the machines were out of order. This building has seen better days. You guessed it, today is Sunday. The residents here appear kind of lazy. This is the road to the high school. These guys even say they moved to the ghost town. This place didn't look like there was any activity either. Appears to be lots of activity here. Quite a lot of art. A couple of restaurants that appear to be well regarded. The houses are fairly clean and in good shape. Just kind of blows my mind that this ghost town is really one of the nicest places I've been. This seems so silly to me. In a ghost town, wouldn't you be advertising a dead band tonight? There do appear to be some legitimate ruins here, though, too. This is a cute little town with quite a lot going on, and it really seems to be a little more upscale than many of these places around here. There seem to be a lot of B&B rental kind of places, like the teepees in the background there. This place has just enough old junk in it to be pretty fun and interesting. But if you're really looking for a ghost town, this isn't it. They're estimating gusts to 85 this afternoon. How fun is that? Well, it's time for another winding session. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's bug bites or the scratches from when I biffed it on my bike a few days ago, but I'm all itchy. the campsite I'm staying at is kind of buggy. It's not as bad as it could be, and not as bad as it was back at the Rio Grande Village, but it's still not terribly pleasant. I have this cold that's driving me nuts. So at any rate, my attitude kind of sucks today about Big Bend Ranch State Park, but hopefully by the time I have lunch and hit the road on the trail, I'll feel better about it. There is a big bike riding area here, the Contrabando mountain bike trail system. We'll check it out, and fortunately there's one that's a long, easy one, so that'll be good for me. I'm currently experiencing a little angst about my poor mountain biking skills, so perhaps the easy one will be a better choice for me. Hey, I'm at the Contrabando trail system. Apparently this area used to have a lot of smuggling and so forth during Prohibition, and of course even now there's a lot of trouble with illegal immigrants crossing the border, right? They used to smuggle wax out of here. How weird is that? But I'm here to do a trail called the Buena Suerte. It's supposed to be an easy trail. There was a Colorado guide that said these are even easier than the ratings in Colorado. A beginner or an intermediate trail in Colorado is kind of like a difficult trail here. Buena Suerte means good luck, and I'm already running an hour late because when I got the bike off the rack, the front tire was flat. So I changed it and then ran into town to get a spare because I didn't want to run out amongst all the cactus and so forth without a spare inner tube. Here we go. Hope it's easy. Buena Suerte. This is a pretty little canyon. It was just off the Buena Suerte trail road. Look at that. Must be good luck. There's water. Darn it. This is another one I probably could have done it, but I panicked and stopped. Oh well. Can't count on good luck. I've been trying not to drink too much water. My mouth and throat and lips get dry so quickly that if I drank as much as I wanted to drink, I'd be just totally waterlogged. And you know, that would be bad luck. I hit this soft stuff going way too fast. That would have been tough luck, but I made it. I've already met an obstacle that looks more than intermediate, at least uphill. Maybe it's intermediate downhill and it's more difficult uphill. I don't know. See what your luck is like. Maybe you get to watch me biff it. We'll put it on camera and see what we get. Wow, this was tough. I rode up here, made it over this one, made it over that one, almost made it over this one, and that's where my luck ran out. No bueno. Un poco mal suerte. Oh, I think this is the start of that long uphill back to the junction. You know, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. I forgot my chapstick. It's like a Jack Reacher movie. Bad luck and trouble. The old Whitroy mine. Looks like somebody's luck ran out here. You know, with the luck of the draw, you gotta know when to fold them. Ew. I think that's one of those Mormon crickets, but I think he got hit by a Jeep that just came through here. Bad luck for him. With a little bit of bloomin' luck. And then there's one guy on a trail out here. I might be able to catch up with him with a bunch of luck. So far my luck's been good. Wasn't that just good luck? Good news, the water that was in the trunk of my bike is still cold. Or at least cool, right? What luck. Well, we've had the good fortune to get to the end of the trail without misadventure. This is the end of the Buena Suerte road. You can see there's an old mine complex here. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chimney, a sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim, chiroo, a sweep that luck will rub off when he shakes hands with you. Or throw him a kiss, and that's lucky too.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you rode on the Buena Suerte at least a while, right?
Yeah.
And so was your luck good?
I feel like it was.
Good. Mine was good.
Excellent.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm at the West Rancherias trailhead, and I'm going to go up to a falls. And I'm sure the falls are spectacular. Yeah, well, I'm prepared to be disappointed. And there's an 80-foot high spring-fed pour-off. A rare treat in this desert environment. I still expect it to be dry, though. At this point, it's like perfect weather. The wind's blowing a little bit, which keeps the bugs down some because they're awful down in the canyons and so forth. And it must be 70, 75, something like that. Sun's shining. I can't complain. Look at this. There is water running down here. There might actually be a falls at the pour-off. Water in the desert is just so much fun. There's no real trail. You're just kind of hiking up the bottom of this little canyon. There's a canyon right behind me, but I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. This looks like it'll be shorter. Oh. I don't know, there's some footprints up there, there's some footprints here. Probably doesn't matter. Hey, I'm getting some shade. How nice is that? I thought I might be getting close because I looked and there was this huge cliff, but then I turned this corner and there's hugely more around here. So I looked at the app. I'm only halfway. Holy cow. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is there's no bugs. The bad news, of course, is the wind is just howling through here. It's not quite noon, but there was a spot in the shade that was so cool. And I was starting to feel a little hungry, so I thought I'd stop and eat lunch. This canyon just keeps going and going. Somebody's happy to be here, but it's not me. I'm bailing out on this. I think there's still about a mile to the waterfall, which I know is going to be dry, so it's like, well, not sure why a guy wanted to see that. But this whole hike, for the most part, the first couple miles weren't bad, but virtually the rest of it was like this. There is no trail. You're just scrambling over the rocks and the sand. So it's been a very difficult hike, quite unpleasant. And I've had enough. So I'm gonna turn around, go back. Yeah, it was all unpleasant. All scrambling, no real trails, bushwhacking through the weeds and the brush. And the cairns are placed in locations that make no sense and don't help any. So there's really, the wayfinding piece on this was quite difficult. I'm not sure what my problem was on this hike. Maybe I was just tired. But normally I would have enjoyed the challenges this hike presented. According to Google Maps, I have arrived. This is funny. I'm not sure how pleasant a campsite can be when there's sand drifting through it. There's clearly been a lot more animals through here than people. The bugs at the Rio Grande Village in the national park were awful. And here, they'd said they were awful, but that they're getting better. And they don't look terribly bad here. So I think we'll be okay. This is kind of an interesting campground. All the campsites have shade covers. And there's garbage cans and picnic tables, pit toilets. Far better than some of the campgrounds I've stayed at. Doesn't appear there's any water, but that's okay. I brought lots. The river wasn't really too far from my campsite. Access isn't very good and the bugs are thick. But other than that, it's kind of cool. Found a way down to the water so I can at least touch it. Rio Grande! Yay! My tent has been sitting out in the wind all day. Look at how much dust is on everything. The wind blew pretty hard today. All my footprints from earlier are erased. Once I finished in Big Bend Ranch State Park, I headed for Las Cruces.
Big project would make the whole planet like this someday. Flora and fauna.
It's snowing. I see it land on the edge of the car and melt.
Goodbye, bye, 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 bye.
This is the Odd Man, out.